Okay, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom Youngs, your best mate, and this is the Whiteboard of Truth. And today we are talking about the fundamental architecture of a lifestyle boutique education business. So you might be a coach, you might be a consultant, a mentor like I am, and specifically we're talking about how to scale one of these types of businesses from 10K per month to 100K per month. So this is more of an advanced type of lecture that we're doing today. And it's really important that you understand that you need, if you want to scale to this level, you need to quit using the old way because it sucks, and you need to start using the new way, otherwise you'll be fucked. And I'm going to be giving you some examples of this, but first what we're going to do is we're going to put 30 minutes on the clock because I don't want to waste your time. I want to keep this as tight and as close to 30 minutes as possible. And we of course have to crack a nice fresh bottle of South Downs Natural Mineral Sparkling Water. I got over my illness, by the way. I'm back to 100%. I actually feel 110% now. Had a fucking sick week at the gym last week. Big training week, hit every single session. And yeah, we're now back on track and representing Team 24/7. I actually got the t-shirt because I completed their ultra marathon. So I actually deserve this t-shirt, which says Team 24/7. So yeah, it's from Represent, by the way. Anyway, okay, let's talk about how to actually build one of these businesses, because this past weekend, so I guess on Saturday, which is 2 days ago, it's Monday now. This dude, Alex Hormozi, did his most recent book launch for $100 million money models, and I honestly didn't pay attention to it because, to be honest, I'm more concerned about. Let me close the door. I don't like things when they need to be closed. I spent the weekend planning my strategy on how I'm going to grow my business. So in my opinion, the $100 million money models, it's a pointless book unless you've already made 100 grand a month. Because to get to 100 grand a month, you need to have complete focus on one core client product. That's going to take you to 1 million a year, and you don't need cross sells, upsells, down sells, sell your nan sells, fucking all these bullshit sells. You don't need any of that shit to get to 100 grand a month. You just need one absolute banger product. That's what I've done, because in June I did 194K in new business without sales calls, without a sales team. Basically myself and a few different freelancers who helped me out with shit. So I think that's sick. But what we're talking about today is really the new way of doing things, which guys like Alex Hormozi, guys like Iman Gaji, who have made $100 million plus, and creators who don't have huge audiences. Like this is one of my clients, Taryn, who she just hit her first 100 grand a month in her business, and she only has 2,583 followers on Instagram. And that is the power of the new way of doing things and dumping the old way of doing things. So first, let me talk about the old way of doing things. You might not be able to read these, but these are my old clients. 4 years ago, I used to be a funnel analytics consultant for enterprise businesses. These were just a few of my clients. So I probably had about 20 when I was working as a consultant. I was working for a big tech business. And my job was to work one-on-one with their teams to optimize their funnels. So my job would literally be to be a linchpin between their website teams, their paid traffic teams, their analytics teams, to help them understand how they can improve different parts of their funnel, which we're going to talk about in a second. And these are some of the businesses I worked with. So I worked with pretty much every industry. Like my clients spanned all industries. So luxury fashion, enterprise retail, banking, travel, food. So these are some of my clients that I worked with their teams. So Selfridges, luxury fashion retailer in the UK, but it has a global footprint now, did 3.6 billion last year. Harrods, which is a luxury retailer as well. In the UK, they did just under 1 billion last year. Pizza Hut was one of my clients, one of my first clients that I worked with. They did 23.8 billion globally last year. Chanel, they made 19 billion, just under 19 billion last year. Virgin Atlantic, one of my, an airline, was one of my clients. I also did Virgin Holidays, one of their online shopping retailers. Virgin Atlantic did 3.3 billion last year. Lloyd's Banking, so I had a few banking clients, NatWest, Lloyd's. They did 17.5 billion last year. So these are big enterprise businesses. And fundamentally, you have to understand, if you're a creator, the way for you to win is by not fucking competing with them, which is what we're going to talk about. Because if you do things in the new way, you will not compete with them. But if you do things in the old way, you will compete with them. So we're going to be talking about that. But the reason why these guys, myself included, I think I've collected about 600 grand in cash in the last 9 months. And that's just on my own. No sales team. I'm typically running above 90% profit. My profit fluctuates month on month. Between it's been about 85 to 95% typically, but it fluctuates based on fixed expenses. It's not the same every month, but it's 85 to 97% it's been. And the reason is because I've done things completely differently. So let's talk a little bit about what these brands currently do. And actually they're going to be they're moving towards this. We're ahead as creators. We're more nimble. We can move kind of at a faster pace. We can be early adopters of new models. And so we've got a competitive advantage whilst these guys are slowly moving their big cargo ships. We can be we're on a little fucking jet skis, zipping around. And we can get there faster. And that's why these guys, the Gadgets, the Hormozis, have got a competitive advantage because they can act and they can move more nimbly. 23 minutes. Okay, so the old way of doing things, this is how these brands currently get business and have been. And this is also what creators have been doing to build their businesses since online advertising, Google ads and Facebook ads started really popping off in the kind of 2010 era. So Facebook ads, I think, was around 2013 was when it really started to get going. And this is really important to understand because we're now in 2025. So let's just say 10 to 15 years ago, online traffic, to buy online traffic with advertising was fucking so cheap it was almost free because there were very few people who were early adopters to that technology. These guys, the big brands, were the final adopters of that shit. The people who made the most were the small, nimble businesses who could afford to take some risks on new technology and get in early. This dude, fucking Alex Hormozi, was one of them. So he started CreatorLaunch back in, I guess it was around the 2015, 2016 era, but he publicly has talked about the fact that his competitive advantage was getting in and understanding Facebook advertising, Meta advertising, Facebook advertising earlier than everyone else. And he was able to buy and leverage extremely cheap leads at the beginning, when it was cheap. It was that was his competitive advantage. That's how he managed to scale CreatorLaunch super fast. I'm a huge fan, by the way. He has been a massive inspiration for me. I literally named my business after CreatorLaunch. I named it CreatorLaunch. Not very original, but I was I want to build the CreatorLaunch for the creator economy, and help creators implement scalable systems and license my infrastructure to be able to grow their business. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years now. And so I have everything to thanks to the Hormozi. But I wasn't watching I watched the first 10 minutes of his video, his launch the other day whilst I was in the sauna. I was literally just the time was right, so I put it on. And I was yeah, this isn't, I'm only now getting to the point where I can start thinking about the sophisticated money models that he's talking about. But for most of you, all of you, who if you haven't got to 100K, if you haven't even got to 10K, you need to fucking forget about that. You need to focus on $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and then the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. Okay, a little bit of a sidetrack. So early on, these guys could pay for really cheap traffic over here. So I'm going to walk you through what a funnel is. So some of you dipshits, like occasionally leave comments and say that the model that I talk about, which I've been using for the last 2 years, which is what these guys have been doing, you're like, it's just another funnel. It isn't a fucking another funnel. It's completely different. I'm going to explain to you because I literally was a funnel expert for the biggest brands in the world. I know funnels more than you do. So fucking shut your mouth. Okay, right. This is what a funnel looks like. Okay, so a funnel is we take someone's attention. So we have someone who's scrolling on their phone, and then bam, they get hit with a cold ad. Okay, it's cold because they were not aware of that product or that brand that's in that advertising, or it was just served to them out of nowhere. They didn't go searching for it. It was cold. 15 years ago, it was really cheap to get eyeballs attention on cold ads. Google, Meta, TikTok, SEO. Obviously, TikTok, wasn't a thing back then, but like it is now. It's a huge driver of cold traffic because it's a relative new source, untapped resource that people can lean into. I'm not a fan of TikTok because I'm a millennial, so I don't go on TikTok. This is what a funnel is. Cold advertising. They click the cold ad, it takes them to a product page. It goes straight to the product page. So go straight to the product page. The product page has a bunch of information about the product. It says, hey, here's a bunch of pictures, here are a bunch of reviews, here's the description, the product description, and then here's the checkout button, or here's the add to cart button, here are the options, here's the add to cart button. The person either at that point is like, I don't see any options here for me. I don't actually like this. I don't have the money to buy this right now. And then they fuck off. They bounce. And then they die. As a lead, they die. Okay, so they're dead now. They've paid for that traffic, but the person's fucked off. Okay, really important to understand this. Okay, but some of those people are going to be like, you know what? It's payday, and this is, these businesses all put a load of advertising into the beginning of the month after people have been paid. Heads up. And if they think they've got a product there, they're going to be like, okay, we're going to add it to the cart. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, fuck. Maybe someone rings them on their phone and then they forget about that. Boom, dead again. They paid for that traffic. They've managed to get to the cart. They fucked off. And so it's a waste. They've not acquired a customer. A smaller percentage will go down to the checkout. From my memory, it was like less than 10% of people will get to a checkout. I can't remember the metrics because why would I need to remember shit that doesn't work? Okay, again, a small percentage will get to the checkout page. And then most of them will go, nah, you know what, I can't afford that. Boom. And they fucking die again, okay? And then when they get to the checkout, there's two options here. One is that they actually press the buy button, they put their credit card details in, they actually make the transaction, or, which is the majority of the time, they die. And what happens is you end up with a big pile of dead leads. So they've paid for the traffic and they've gone all the way down, and then they aren't worth shit if they've managed to if they haven't actually converted. Now, when traffic was cheap, you could afford to do that. Times have changed. And they've changed because these fuckers have way bigger budgets, and they finally caught up to how they can buy attention online. And so they pump, how can you compete against 23 billion, 19 billion, 3 billions, 18 billion? How can you compete against that level of purchasing power for advertising? You can't. You got to play a different game. So guess what? We're playing a different game now. We're playing the new way. Okay, so if you can do this, and this is what creators have done for the last 10 years. They've done the exact same thing. This is how they've done it. Cold ad. The cold ad puts people onto their opt-in page on a landing page. So have a landing page, and then a little pop-up says, here's the free training if you put in your email. Most of those people don't put in their email. They fuck off. They die. Most of them don't put in their email because there's too much friction. They're like, no. And so they die. But some of them actually put their email in, and then they're like, okay, here's the VSL. They watch the VSL. Again, some of them watch the VSL. Most of them die, okay? And then the next thing is, well, I want them to book a call. Book a call. Please book a call with my sales manager, Bob. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to say that if you book the call, you'll get on a call with me. Knowing that that's not the case. And if they don't book a call, they're dead. And then if they book a call and they get on the call, some of them are going to buy, most of them are going to die. Okay? 30% of people with good sales will buy, 60%, 66% of people, 70% of people, the mass, will die. And so this is why the old way sucks. Sucks ass. For creators like you and me. And we got to do things differently, okay? All right, how much time we got? We've got 14 minutes left. Let's see if we can do this. Are you with me here? Because there's a fundamental understanding here between the two different things that I'm going to talk about. This method is about trying to get the time from discovery to purchase, discovery being the cold advertising, to purchase, trying to collapse that time as short as possible. And that is absolutely fine if your purchase is based around being an impulse purchase, not a considered purchase. When we are selling high ticket services, when we're selling stuff that costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, that's going to take some consideration, okay? We're going to have to consider that. It's like, no one's one day just like, you know what, I just feel like a Rolex today. Oh, you know what, I just feel like a Chanel bag today. Doesn't happen, does it? At least not for most people. I'm sure there are some nerds out there that do that shit, but like, most people, for a purchase that costs thousands, it is a multi-step consideration where it's like they think about, you know what, I actually could really have I could do with some help with my marketing right now. Like I'm balancing all of these, spinning all these plates, and I just keep, like, I feel like, you know, I'm not consistent with my email marketing. I'm not consistent with my short form content. I just keep forgetting to post. What if I could buy some services or maybe work with someone that could help me with that? You don't go from thinking about that to like, okay, let me just go, I'm going to go to a product page and just buy. No. Okay. There's a difference between an impulse versus a considered purchase. So an impulse purchase, if your product is below $1,000, that's kind of where I like draw the line. Funnels are great, but good luck fucking competing against advertising spend when these fuckers are spending thousands, millions every day. We're going to do things differently, okay? And this is the new way. This is how these guys, myself included, are making really great money. Like the fact that I can stand here and say, I brought in $194,000 in new business in June, and I have a team of like 5 freelancers that I work with. One to help with Instagram, one to help with YouTube, one to help with like client data, and one to help with systems. That's 4. And then it's me. Fuck, I only have 4. That's mad. But for me to say that I brought in that much in June, and in you know, I think it was April, I brought in 164K. Like, it's madness. But it's because I do things differently. Let's talk about the new way to do things. We might make this an extra long one today. We might make this 40 minutes because this is really fucking important. Okay, so here's the new way of doing things. The first step, and I know that you can't see this, so you're gonna have to be patient, and I'm gonna explain it to you. The first step is that we need a short form content profile. My 2 favorite platforms that actually there are 3, Instagram or LinkedIn are my 2 favorite. If you have here's the caveat is Facebook is an alternative as well. Okay, so let me talk about the ifs. when I would use the three different ones. And I would only focus on one until you get to 100K per month. My business didn't grow to 100K per month until I forgot about all of the other platforms apart from Instagram, okay? You can have success on both. So here's the thing, like it's a limiting belief. If you think, oh, my ideal prospect isn't on Instagram. Are you shitting me? Everyone is on Instagram. Everyone is on Instagram. Everyone's scrolling on Instagram. Don't think that like, oh, my perfect prospect is on LinkedIn. If they're on LinkedIn, they're also on Instagram, okay? There are plenty of fish in the fucking oceans. Don't think like that. Here's when I would use Instagram versus Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. So if I have a business-to-business offer, I'm going on LinkedIn. If I have a business-to-consumer offer, I'm going on Instagram. If I have a business-to-consumer offer where the average age of my perfect future client is over the age of 50, I'm doing Facebook. And if I'm a fucking idiot, I'm doing TikTok. Don't do TikTok. Okay. First step is having a short form platform. And here's why. No one talks about this. The reason I decided to build my short form platform, I think I'm on 78, I've grown from 7 to 78,000 followers on Instagram in the past 12 months. I did it for one specific reason and a secondary reason. The first specific reason was clout. What is clout? Clout is authority. Clout is status or status. I never know how to say that word. I don't know. What's the right, in the comment, tell me, is it status or status? Tell me, please. Let me get this right next time. I decided to build my Instagram profile predominantly for clout, because here's what happens. No matter what anyone fucking says, if you go and search someone's name on Instagram, because maybe you've seen them on YouTube, and you go search them on Instagram, and they've got like a couple of hundred followers on Instagram, you're like, this person ain't legit. And it's just a human nature. So that's why, in my humble opinion, you need to build an audience on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, which has a decent following, so that verifies and validates to people when they watch your other content on other platforms that you should be listened to, okay? It's actually a small human thing. Now, the truth is that Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook is the new website. It is the new website. It's the perfect place, because what I do on my Instagram profile, in my bio, I have what I do and who I help. And then I have 1, 2, 3 pinned posts on my Instagram profile talking to people about my origin story, my transformation and my clients' transformations, and my unique mechanism. Those are the 3 pinned profile posts I have. Go check out my Instagram profile, you see how I do them. And that gives people who come across my Instagram profile a complete snapshot about who I am, who I help, my journey, my core beliefs, my values, and my unique mechanism. And I'm getting that done in my 3 posts. And that's more than you could ever have on a website. And it's more native. People are just on the right platform, and they're going to see it and they're going to be like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So that is your new website. You need that. The next thing you need a route to get them to here. So over here is YouTube/podcast. And this is the platform, and you can choose which one, and I'll explain to you which one I would recommend in a second. This is where you get depth. This is the trust building platform, and it is based around Google's 7-11-4 rule, which I've talked about shitloads on this channel, or on my other channel as well. And it is all around Google's research study that they did a couple of years ago now, where they analyzed like 30 years of buying data online. They've been selling shit online for like nearly 30 years now. And they found that on average, for someone to buy from someone online that they don't know, they needed to have watched 7 hours of content across 11 different touch points across 4 different formats. That is their 7-11-4 rule. So it is really important because Instagram and LinkedIn, that is one of the 4 formats. What we'll talk about in a second is the second, you can't see it because of the light. Fucking, I love you, light. And the third is, third format is this. And then the fourth format is down here. So we have short form content, we get people over to long form content, and in the process, and this is how I've done it for the past year, and I've managed to get over 20,000 leads onto my email list through ManyChat. So this says ManyChat up here, you won't be able to see it. So in one single automation, I get people over to my YouTube channel from my short form content, onto my email list, and watching, over to my YouTube channel and onto my email list at the same time. That has been my secret cheat code. Now, if you're on LinkedIn, then the simple way to do this is just like put links to your YouTube channel within your posts. So every post you should make there should be a relevant link to a video on your YouTube channel for people to just go click and get on there. And then in the comments and also at the bottom of the post, get people to sign up to your newsletter, which if you haven't signed up to my newsletter, you are missing the fuck out, okay? You need to be there because that's where if you think this is juice, if you think this is sauce, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. So go click the link down below, sign up to my newsletter, which is where I drop insider insights about how I'm building this business and how you can build your business. This is like in real time. This is the shit that's going on. Now, I'm going to give you mainly juice, source, and insights. Occasionally, I'm going to sell you to try and get you to want to work with me because I think that's the best decision you'll ever make in your life. Okay. And if you are interested in working with me, also go just DM me on Instagram, the number 77. You need to be making 10K per month in an education business first, and you need to be a business coach or a business consultant. So I don't work with people anymore outside of the personal development niche, outside of the business niches. So I don't work with people in personal development niches any longer because I'm focusing on the business people because that's who I am. Okay, so we get people over to email. We're building trust. Can you see how like the difference between considered and impulse? With the new way, we are trying to elongate the length of time between someone having an idea about buying something and then actually making a buying decision. We don't want to collapse the time. We want to elongate the time because when we elongate the time, we build trust and we build conviction in that person's buying decision, which is what we need. Because especially if we're running education businesses, we need people to be convicted to get the best results. And so that's why we don't want to go shorten and condense the buying cycle with impulse purchases, like an impulse purchase. We want people to actually consider and take action. So here's what we do. So we build trust with long form content, and we also build trust through email. So every single day when people are getting emails into their inbox, this is the absolute core of a lifestyle boutique business, email. I worked for the #1 email newsletter agency in the creator space 2 years ago now. It is called Paperboy Studios. It is the sister agency for the email service provider Kit, used to be called ConvertKit. I've literally seen under the hood of the biggest creators in the world who use Kit to build their emails. I've seen exactly what these guys do, and I've seen how much money they invest into building their email lists. And so this is the absolute core fundamental. This is the shit that's going to grow your business. This is why my client Taryn, with only a 2,583 followers on Instagram, how she made 100K a month, because she's got a list of a few thousand people. Okay. That's critical. So when we do this, after we've built depth and trust, the next thing is we have to have a conversion mechanism to get people off the fence and actually take action and become clients of ours. And so what we do is we have this suite of sales assets. I don't do sales calls. I haven't done sales calls it's about 10 months now. a single one. And I don't have a sales team. I don't have an appointment setter right now. I don't have a sales close. I don't have any of that shit. Okay. And that's because I built this instead. So then I have a suite of sales assets. The core sales assets that I have, number one is the most important one, case study interviews. Actually showing people showing examples of people who have been through your methods and have got the transformation result. The second is what I call our one simple video, which is our VSL, our video sales letter. And this is showing people your entire methodology on how you go from A, or how you've gone from A to B, or how you've helped people go from A to B. And there's a very specific framework that I help my clients build VSLs to make them their most viewed videos on their YouTube channels. I've called it the 11 Ps. You've got to hit 11 specific Ps. Okay, half an hour's up. We're going to wrap this up soon. 11 Ps that you have to hit for a VSL to be an absolute banger. The third sales asset is the offer doc. So this is an offer document, and this is what I use to share my offer and invite people to work with me. Now, if you want to see, look, if you want to see how I do it, all you have to do is just DM me 77 on Instagram, and then you will get the automation that'll invite to you. So then you can see it yourself, okay? So you just go click the link down below. You'll get that. Then just DM me 77. Click the automations. Don't be a dipshit and like try and message me back. Use the automation on the phone, and then you'll get it. And then you'll see my offer document, okay? And this is the thing that I've used for the last year now that has meant I haven't had to do sales calls. I don't have a sales team. Now, here's the beauty of this. We take the sales assets and we put them back in at the top. So we take them and we put them back in, but through making short form content, long form content, emails. So what this is, instead of one shitty funnel, we have one simple flywheel, OSF. And here's the secret to this shit. When you build one simple flywheel, what you've actually built is a brand. Okay, so that is why you need to do the new way and not the old way. And if you want to see exactly how I do my, an example of my sales assets, my video sales letter, what I will do is I will link it up here. And if you haven't joined my newsletter, join my newsletter. And yeah, I'll go watch my video sales letter so you can see it. It's a great example of a video sales letter. And yeah, I think that was sick. See you in the next one.